Hi there, and welcome to today's episode of How the Game Was Won. We're at the European Club Cup of 2015, and today we're looking at the game between Pelletier with white and Nakamura with black. And from the Pelletier's point of view, what do you do when you're in a tournament and you paired off against a player that is almost 300 rating points higher than you? Do you sit back and wait for your higher rated opponent to make a mistake, or do you go all out on the attack as soon as you possibly can? Obviously, as Steinitz says, only the attacker wins in chess, so going all out on the attack as soon as you possibly can is by far the better option to employ in these type of situations. But let's look at how the opening played itself out. We had d4, knight f6, c4, g6, knight c3, bishop g7, e4, d6, knight f3, castles, bishop e2, e5, castle short, knight c6, d5, knight e7, b4, a5, bishop a3, b6, b takes a5, knight h5, knight d2, knight f4. And obviously, this is a position in the classical King's Indian that has come up time and time again. But here, Pelletier uncorks a novelty that, by the looks of things, was definitely not within Nakamura's home preparation. And that is A takes on b6. Effectively sacrificing that a3 bishop, but in the process Pelletier wins a couple of pawns and completely opens up the queenside lines. As you can see over there. So queenside lines completely opened up, and a couple of pawns won, and setting himself up with two really nice passed, or a really nice passed pawn, which will be this one over here at a2. So, as expected, Nakamura picks up the bishop, knight b5, rook a5, b takes in c7, queen d7, a4, and already it's looking so much easier for white to play this position than black. All that white effectively needs to do is to get the knight into that b3 square and then just stomp the pawns up the board. And that will have huge problems as far as black is concerned to be able to defend against those marching pawns, bearing in mind that you've got a queen that can so easily come across, a bishop that can so easily come across, and it just becomes far more complicated for black to be able to defend. Continuing with bishop a6, knight b3, bishop takes in b5, c takes in b5, queen c7, knight takes in a5, queen takes in a5, g3, knight takes in e2 with check, the queen takes. So, although black has already got two pieces for the rook, already white's position has two passed queenside pawns, as well as this superbly open c-file, which means that the attacking lines are all very much favoring white at the moment. Because as far as, yes, looking at the two pieces that black has for the rook, for instance, this bishop sitting over here on the dark squares, will be really difficult for it to get into any sort of position to be able to defend against those stomping queenside pass pawns. Bishop a6, trying to control that crucial c1 square, which is why the Pelletier played rook f2 b1, bishop e8, b6. Pelletier also in this position knows that he only has to queen one of those pawns to be able to win the game. Rook takes on b6, rook takes on b6, queen takes on b6, a5, queen c5, rook a4, king g7, a6, knight c8, rook c4, queen b5, queen a2, knight b6, rook c6, knight a4, a7, queen a5, king g2, queen takes on a7, rook c4, bishop g5, queen takes on a4. So what you can see here is that the piece that black is up is effectively lost, and it's just now a matter of straightforward technique by Pelletier to wrap up the rest of the position. Queen b7, rook b4, queen c7, queen c6, queen a7, queen takes on d6, bishop takes on e7, so bishop e7, and queen takes on e5 with check. And looking at this position, what you've got is white has again gained his extra 2 pawns back again, and not only has white the additional 2 pawns, he's also up the exchange, plus applying immense pressure down on black's position. Because bearing in mind that by playing check over here, it's a case of the only place that the black king effectively could go to is the h6 square, because anything along the back rank will effectively allow the white rook to come up with check, and which will then force black to take with the queen, and the black queen will be lost. So king to h6 is the only possibility, and then the black king will be hopelessly trapped at the side of the board, and it will be so simple for white to continue to mop up the black pawns. So in this position, Nakamura resigned, so that is how the game was won. Please feel free to share this video out amongst all of your chess friends. Post any comments, questions, criticisms that you have down in the space down below, and I'll do my level best to answer each and every single one of your comments. And give this video a thumbs up if you like the content, thumbs down if not. That way you're also helping me to produce better content for you in the future. And within the YouTube video window, down just below the video window screen is a big red subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button, that way you stay subscribed to my channel for all the new content that comes out on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. Until I see you next time for another episode of How the Game Was Won. Stay carved up for the win out there. I'll see you next time. Cheers.